Alright lads, so today we're continuing on the series of using 1 out of 5 characters to tackle and beat the very hard difficulty of Guild Quest, showing that you don't really need max transcended characters, which for the most part is a assumption that a lot of people do have when it comes to the very hard difficulty of Guild Quest. Of course though, when you are using 1 out of 5 characters, you do have to compensate with having maybe a particular set of characters, right? And in this case, for today's video, we are tackling the Range Captain Killer Guild Quest. Now we have 2 teams to demonstrate. Unfortunately, one team did fail, but the second team, the team that you do see on your screen right now, is a team that was able to beat it at special with level 1 out of 5. And the general breakdown of the team is that Bambietta is going to be our main DPS SP character. A replacement for her would be 6th Anniversary Aizen. We then have Segunda Etapa Aaroniero as our main normal attack damage dealing character. A replacement for him would be any of these 3 characters. Gin would be the second best replacement, if not maybe even better, given the fact that he is a hard character. At no point will he have attribute disadvantage. In Aarionero's case, he does have attribute disadvantage. But the benefit of Aaroniero is that he does provide your team with barriers, and that may help out your team if you are using someone like Bambietta. Orihime and Shuei are resurrectable characters, and they are quite old, so keep that in mind. Their damage output isn't nearly as high as Aaroniero and also Gin's, but the benefit is that they've been in the game for some time. They're resurrectable, and they definitely are worth using if you have not of a better option. Ideally though, since they are quite old, you would want these characters to be maybe max transcended. In this case, this Shuei, for example, would be a really good character here, because he is 5'5". If I got him to level 10 attack, level 10 focus, he would be really good in this quest. Since they are resurrectable though, you can take him into the special move trial quest, and you might be able to get them 5'5" from there, and it's definitely worth doing that for the purpose of beating the very hard difficulty of Guild Quest if you know you have no other good normal attack damage character. As for our third slot, as always, this is going to be the team booster. Unfortunately, I do not own Neliel, and I'm assuming most of you lads don't do. If you do though, she makes this quest significantly easier, because at that point you can use a main DPS in the form of Bambietta, you can use Aaroniero as your main normal attack damage DPS character, and then you can also use Neliel, who is not only boosting your team to the likes of Orihime, providing the 43% extra attack, focus, and defense with the barriers too, but she herself can also do damage, and that extra damage that she can do, that Orihime can't do, definitely does help out a lot. But even so, without Neliel, we were able to beat it, and we used this particular team. So in this case, we're using Bambietta. She's going to be really good in this quest for her weakened defense soul bomb, her high damage soul bomb, helping you get into the 5th boss faster, especially given the fact that the 4th boss, being Retsu, is a speed character. And while it is unfortunate this time around that the final boss is power, making this quest a tad bit harder for Bambietta, it doesn't matter all too much, especially with her SA2 barrage attack. In our case though, we are going with a Quinty Cape, Fortification Pill, and also Masanga. And then her soul traits include full stamina, recharge, strong attack damage. We're giving her as much SP as we possibly can, and that's very important to do, and one of the way to compensate for only using a special move level 1 out of 5 character. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that she is a 3 out of 5 for me, so I did go ahead and remove her focus and attack slot. So my soul bomb is hitting like 50% harder, but it shouldn't make that much of a difference. But in terms of strong attack damage, she's basically performing like a 1 out of 5 character, only having level 10 SP. For bonus abilities, we've given her full stamina and also SP. For Aaroniero, we're going with Golden Chappy Hollow Bait, with 2 normal attack damage soul traits and also an additional Chad link, Senkamon Chad, giving him the 25% full stamina and also the extra bit of recharge, so we can get his strong attacks back a tad bit faster, and that will allow him to activate the shield to keep him protected, and also activate the debuff attack, where he will then do a tad bit more damage. Once more, only level 10 attack with full stamina, and also attack as bonus abilities. And then lastly, as already mentioned, we have Orihime as our team booster. She's just here for her SA2. Her damage literally does not matter. Like, we could give her no accessories and it makes no difference. But we've made sure to give her free 14% recharge soul traits so she can stack the boost and also barrier a lot faster. So jumping into the quest then, the team is quite simple, right? You want to do what you do with any other quest. You want to make sure you spam all your strong attacks, but in certain cases, if you can save an SA1, SA3, or even to a certain extent an SA2 on Bambietta as you go into the next wave, that's also important, because you want to make sure the bosses, or most of the side enemies, the ones that spin around, the big storypers, they don't attack Aaroniero. Because if Aaroniero does get hit, he loses a lot of DPS. He's all about being at full stamina, right? So if Aaroniero gets hit, Run's basically dead, and that goes for Bambietta too. Both of these characters want to stay at full stamina, and the barriers here do help us out quite a lot. So one of the best ways to keep your team protected is to make sure you have a strong attack leading into the next wave. The SA1 is actually quite good for a vacuum attack that can have a pretty good chance of inflicting stat ailments. And if you do inflict a status wound, especially against the final boss, you have the SP boost active, that's the time you definitely want to use your SA2. The SA2 in of itself does have quite a large AoE in front of it. Sometimes it does miss, that happens. You'll see at the last couple seconds of the run, I actually missed my SA2 because I was quite confident that we would beat the quest. But yeah, whenever the burn is inflicted against the boss, or at the very least you have your SP boost, you definitely want to use your SA2. Sometimes getting close is actually a good thing to do, because I believe Aaroniero, his SA1 is a pushback attack, and that can actually push them out of the range of Bambietta's SA2, but the SA2 in of itself does hit quite a few times, it does hit really hard, and it also works as a somewhat mini vortex. Using the SA2 when all the little mini-mobs are dead is the best thing to do, because then you don't have to worry about taking any damage, and therefore ruining the run. Now, usually I would like to summon the 4th boss, given the fact that the 4th boss is a speed character, and that's when Aaroniero is doing his least amount of damage. But since Bambietta is a technique character, you go through the 4th way super easy, and in that case, I chose to use my Soul Bomb, which does apply weaken defense on the final boss, because in that case, then our whole team is doing 30% more damage, and with that, you're able to clear the quest around 3 or 10 so seconds left. We would have cleared time bit faster, but unfortunately, I again missed my SA2. And keep in mind again, this team is only using 2 characters that can deal damage. If you do get Nelly out, it's important to understand that she makes this team way better. She is a meta normal attack damage character booster for this given week, and if you have her, that's an extra character doing damage. This team can beat it without her, but with her, it clears it even faster. And with that, let's have a look at our second team. So the team itself is the exact same. The only difference now is that we are using 6th anniversary Aizen, because I understand not everyone does have access to Bambietta. Now, unfortunately with this team, the team can't beat it. This team just simply doesn't do enough damage. Bambietta's extra DPS over Aizen is the kind of like cheat code that we need to get through this entire quest. So this team more than ever gets way better with Nelliel as your third character. If you have Nelliel, then you're beating it with this particular team. We got very close, but unfortunately, we just weren't able to do enough damage. But in 6th anniversary Aizen's case, these are the accessories that we are using. If you can use a sword per sticker over Masanga, that's definitely better. We're using 3 soul traits, giving us full stamina, strong attack damage, and also, of course, recharge. Remember, only special move level 1 out of 5 in terms of strong attack damage, since we're only having 500 SP here, with full stamina, and of course, also SP as bonus abilities. Now, given the fact that Aizen's been out in the game for the last 2 years, he's been in some of the best banners of the game. If you have him duped out, especially 5 out of 5, with 1000 extra focus, 1000 extra SP, and 500 additional attack, you're probably beating it. This team got very close, even though we're only using Aizen with 500 SP. Even the focus slot might make a massive difference here. Which, you know what, let's actually try, because again, this team can't beat it when Aizen doesn't have the focus slot. Does the focus slot help? Let's find out. So we're going to reapply the focus slot. Maybe it's not too unreasonable to expect you have a 2 out of 5 Aizen. Alright then, so jumping into the quest, let's see how this does go. We're going to instantly teleport up to the top, use our Soul Bomb, use our SA2. And now we kind of messed up actually. There's one mob down here. This is an example of what you don't want to do. You want to make sure you get all the enemies in your SA2 or SA3 when you possibly can. Because you want to make sure Aaroniero, our main DPS character alongside Aizen, is only ever focusing on the main boss. If he does that, then we're absolutely golden. So again, going into the third phase, we're going to use our SA2. That takes down everyone. Great to see that Aizen can still one-shot, and that's many thanks to the fact that he does have a sword per killer. Let's use our SA2 right away. Probably wasn't the best thing to do here, but that's fine. We're then going to use our summon on the 4th boss, because that is our weakest boss here. Being a speed character means Aaroniero does do less damage. And again, you never want to save your strong attacks of Aizen. You want to make sure you're always using them when you possibly can. And most of the time, it does line up perfectly. We have 16 seconds to spare. SA2 went off into the 3, and now we just have to hope we do enough damage in the next 10 seconds. Unfortunately, though, Aaroniero did actually paralyze the boss. That's not what you want to see, because you want to apply the weakening. But it might not matter. Unfortunately, though, I'm going to let that run play out. I should have restarted there, but I'm basically counting that as a win. I let that play thinking that we just killed Kenpachi last second. My bad for not actually demonstrating that the team can beat it, but at least we know if you give Aizen the focus slot, it makes a massive difference, and it definitely can beat it. Unfortunately, we just messed up there, right? I should have reset the app and tried to go for a better run, but for our first attempt, we basically got Kenpachi down to just 1 strong attack away from being defeated. Unfortunately, Aaroniero activated the paralysis, and that definitely doesn't help us out there. Had we inflicted the weakening, it would have made a big difference, and at the same time, we did waste a few time at the start because we didn't kill all the little minimums around him. So you can definitely definitely beat this team, this guild quest with Bambietta, Okura, and any type of booster. We just used Maid Orihime. She didn't make that much of a difference in this particular quest. Any boost character with the booster skill is good enough. If you possibly can throw on Chris Nelio, she makes a massive difference. That would definitely be the extra push you need to beat this quest. And if you are using a team like this, 2 damage dealers with Okura, our main NAD DPS, and also Aizen, our SP DPS, you want to make sure Aizen has level 10 focus too. If you do that, even though we didn't actually beat it with this team, the boss was one shot away. Had I restarted that, we would have done it anyway. So yeah, kind of a scuffed one at the end, but it's definitely beatable. Hope you guys enjoyed the video though, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.